Hi again, everybody. I just missed you so much that I had to make one more video today. And this one is focusing on relationships and the bipolar person. So without further ado, I'll get started. The first thing I want to mention is thank you so much for all of you who are watching my videos out there. It's really encouraging, and it just encourages me to put more out there for all of you for help and guidance. So it's an honor to be working with all of you and making these videos and helping in any way that I possibly can. So hit subscribe, hit like, leave comments in the comments section. If you can think of anything that you want me to talk about, let me know. But right now I want to share my my experience with relationships as it goes with having bipolar disorder. I can tell you what kind of a person I used to be. And when I was young, like a teenager and in my 20s, I had the need to be surrounded by a lot of people. I wanted to have a lot of friends. And when I hung out with people, I hung out with big groups of friends. I've changed a lot as I've gotten older. I'm pretty introverted, and I have a couple of really close friends, but I just don't need the satisfaction of going out until 2 o'clock in the morning with like a group full of girls or guys or whatever. That's just not where I am anymore in my life. So, but if you are, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know that throughout the course of my illness, my need for relationships has definitely changed from needing to have a lot of friends to just wanting to have a couple of really close friends that I can count on when things aren't going so well. And they can count on me too. So let's see. I'm going to skip over high school because we already talked about my relationships in high school and how they were kind of damaging. And I kind of touched on college, but freshman year of college was really hard for me. I didn't know what was going on with me yet, but I knew something was really wrong because I kept having depressive episodes, but when I would get put on an SSRI or another antidepressant, my mood would flip the other way. And for whatever reason, my doctors were not catching on to this. And the reason that that was happening is because I have bipolar disorder. And people who have bipolar disorder have a hard time going on SSRIs and antidepressants because it can throw them into a manic episode. So that was what was happening to me when I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know what was going on with me. I was lonely. I had a situation, and I had a really weird situation where I didn't have a computer when I went to school my freshman year. So if I needed to use the computer, I would go in the computer lab in my dorm room, or in my dorm building. And there was a lab tech in there that would basically do a work study program and supervise the computer lab. And one night I went in there when he was working, and I noticed he was looking at me. And when I went to log into my computer, I couldn't log in because my password was wrong. And I thought that that was really weird because I remember all passwords. Like, I remember passwords that I had from when I was in 8th grade. So after some further investigating, we found out that he had hacked into my account and he was stalking me. He had a web page that he put up a whole page about me, and we took it to the police, and the police couldn't do anything about it because he didn't put my last name in the on the web page that he had edited to talk about me, so I couldn't do anything. So the girls that I was hanging out with when I told them what was happening turned out to be really mean girls. The girls that I was hanging out with when I started attending the university, and they didn't believe me. And so then I thought there was really something wrong with me, that it was all my problem. And I felt so hopeless that I pretty much spent the rest of uh, that semester in my dorm room. And we already talked about that. But I started hanging out with the art crowd after I kind of ditched those girls. And you can imagine the kind of debauchery that a bunch of freshman art students get into once parents are out of the picture. So I wasn't real successful my first semester of school. I pretty much self-medicated and hung out with the wrong people. And after that semester, I was out of there. Um, I have a couple of, like I said before, as far as relationships go, I don't find it hard to be in a relationship. I do find myself a hard person to be in a relationship with because I have mood swings. I'm not always reliable. I can't always make a commitment because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel. Um, I'll make a plan and the day will roll around and that time rolls around for whatever activity I've planned to do, um, and it backfires on me because I don't feel good enough to do it. Um, so I only have a couple of friends that I can count on and who care for me when I'm not feeling well, and that's okay with me because for me less is more. Um, and so that's kind of my experience with friendships and having bipolar disorder. Um, as far as what to expect from your friends with bipolar disorder, symptoms can make it hard to get along with people, especially if a person is in a manic episode or a depressive episode. Depressive episode, people don't always want to do things. They don't have the motivation or um, the need to want to get out and experience a fun time or a night out with friends. So um, sometimes people are unreliable when they have depression and they just don't feel like doing anything. Um, when people are manic, they have boundless energy, and that can be annoying. I know that I annoy myself sometimes when I'm manic and I just can't shut up. And um, that's one of my big symptoms. That's one of my uh, warning signs that I'm going into a manic episode is when I speed talk and I jump from topic to topic. So I know that can make it hard for me to be likable. A lot of times I feel very unlikable. Um, Intimacy can be an issue when people have depressive episodes. They're not really desiring the need for intimacy in their relationship with their partner. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum is the manic person who is uh, intimate overdrive. And um, that can be hard for their partner to keep up with too. When a person is manic and they have excessive sex drive. So that's definitely one of the signs of uh, mania is hypersexuality um, and risk taking. So those can be two of the symptoms that can make it hard to sustain a relationship, a healthy relationship, and healthy boundaries with a person with bipolar disorder. Work relationships are really significant because when a person is in an episode, their judgment is not clear. There are triggers that trigger stress, and that can trigger an episode, whether it's manic or depressive episode. There's triggers, there's stressors that can trigger an episode. And for those reasons alone, I can't work anymore. I know that there's a lot of people out there with bipolar disorder that are able to maintain successful work-life balance, but I am not one of those people. So, and then as far as how to make these relationships work, um, different things like couples counseling can make all the difference in the world. Couples counseling or family therapy, getting a second set of eyes to kind of look at the issues and maybe give you a new perspective on what your issues are in your relationship and how to resolve them. Being involved with treatment, being involved with your partner's treatment or friend's treatment. It's always nice to know, for me in particular, that my husband is on board with me 100%. He knows exactly when my doctor's appointments are. He knows my medications. He knows my therapist. He's a huge part of my treatment team, and I have a couple other members of my family that I lean on for support that also know my treatment plan. And that makes it so much easier for me when I am in a crisis and I can't always speak for myself. So reach out and have a good support staff if you can. And then I had a whole video about this, but self-care. And I'm not just talking about self-care for the person with bipolar disorder or other mental illness. I'm talking about self-care for the caregiver. Brush your teeth twice a day. I know that that sounds ridiculous, but when you're taking care of somebody and it's a demanding job, sometimes simple hygiene kind of goes out the window. And make sure you brush your teeth twice a day. Get out of the house, go for a walk, go to the park, call a friend, relax in the tub with a book and some candles. Just take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself. And if it's not a good day with your loved one, just remember that tomorrow is a new day, and nothing is in vain. So it might not be a good day, but there's always tomorrow. And I always hold on to hope, and I never say never. So that's the end of my video. I just wanted to put that out there because I know that relationships can be very challenging when one person is suffering from a mental illness. And bipolar disorder is probably one of the hardest because of the mood swings. So if you can weather those and maybe take into account some of the things that I talked about as far as having a relationship with people with bipolar disorder or other mental illness, a little advice can go a long way. So that's it. Happy Thursday again. Hope you have a frosty beverage tonight. And that's the end of my video. I'll talk to you guys another time. And if I don't talk to you before then, have a good holiday weekend again. Bye.